A rainfall warning has been lifted, but the risk is still very present. Rising water levels along the Ottawa River are threatening many properties, and that includes the West End community of Constance Bay. That is where the Prime Minister joined sandbagging efforts today.
That's part of what I'm hoping to encourage people to come out and help, because there's lots of heavy work to do, but a lot of room for neighbours to come help out from across the region, indeed right across the country right now, as we're facing flooding in New Brunswick and Quebec and a little bit of Manitoba as well as Ontario.
Justin Trudeau and his sons Hadrian and Xavier joined the hundreds of homeowners, soldiers and volunteers filling and stacking sandbags. But the Prime Minister's effort was not welcomed by everyone there. Our Olivia Stefanovic is in Constance Bay with more.
Well, the Prime Minister was with his two sons here at the sandbagging station in Constance Bay, and one of the volunteers who was there accused the Prime Minister of disrupting the relief effort for a photo op. Take a listen.
I'm glad to be here with my kids. We just filled sandbags for 15 minutes.
But you held people up.
Sorry.
All your RCMP and security held people up from getting their stuff.
I understand your frustration around security. I live frustrations with security every day of my life right now. That's something that unfortunately is a reality of my life.
Look at the time you've taken.
I'm happy to be here.
They're about to open these dams.
In response to that accusation, Prime Minister Justin Trudeau also said that he's here in Constance Bay to help encourage Canadians to come out to help with the relief effort, because hundreds of volunteers are still needed. And the reason why, we'll take a look at this. All along this stretch of road where we're standing in Constance Bay is filled with water overflowing from the Ottawa River. As you can see, the homes here are surrounded. There are walls, layers and layers of sandbags here. Some people have been able to save their properties. No water is getting in, but others haven't been as lucky. Now, the Canadian Armed Forces are also on the scene. 400 troops are in the Ottawa area, and they're here helping with the sandbagging effort, but they're also here going door to door. And that's because they're talking to residents about voluntary evacuations, getting ready in case they have to leave. And they've been speaking to residents about the risks of staying as well, because roads may be washed out and electricity cut. So it's a very serious situation here, Michael. And also, water levels are expected to rise even more from where we are at now. They're supposed to rise more than what we saw in 2017, which was the worst flood in a century. And just in this region in Constance Bay, they're expected to rise about half a meter, Michael.
Olivia Stefanovic, thank you. Olivia was in the West End community of Constance Bay in the capital region. Now, let's go to Bracebridge, because while flooding waters in Ottawa are concerning, they are reaching historic levels in Bracebridge. Take a look, because officials say nearby rivers and lakes continue to rise, with water levels up by several centimeters in some areas. More than 1,000 homes are affected by the flooding. Many others are cut off from roads and telephone service. The mayor is warning further road closures could be coming later today. The community, about 200 kilometers north of Toronto, has declared a state of emergency. They did so on Wednesday. Well, to Quebec now, where rain is pouring down in many parts of the province, making already bad flooding even worse. And that includes Montreal, now in the second day of its state of emergency. 75 homes have flooded in the city, and people in the Pierrefonds-Roxborough area are having the most trouble. Across the province, more than 3,000 homes have been flooded. 2,700 homes have been cut off by the rising water, and that is forcing residents to flee. There have been almost 2,000 evacuations, and now the Galipeau Bridge, a key transportation link into and out of Montreal, has been shut down for safety reasons. Our Kate McKenna is there.
The Transport Ministry did close the Galipeau Bridge overnight. They say it is a preventative measure. We just want to give you a look of how much water is running underneath this bridge. Now, I've been speaking with locals here who say the situation is very similar to what it was back in 2017, 2 years ago, the last time they closed the bridge for the same reasons. But people I've been speaking with say it appears that the water levels are even higher this time, and they are expecting more water in the coming hours. Now, it's hard to overstate just how important this bridge is for for Quebecers. It connects western part of the province with the island of Montreal. A lot of people commute from the western part to the city of Montreal. We're talking tens of thousands of people driving over this bridge every day. But the Transport Ministry says it was important that they close it. They don't believe that the water is going to overtake the bridge or anything like that, but because of the sheer volume of it, in addition to the rain and the wind, it was just getting less and less safe. So they do have 2 detours set up. One of them involves a road that usually has a toll. They've removed the toll while the bridge is closed. They are saying, once again, this is a preventative measure, but they don't know when this bridge is going to open up again.
Well, we were able to reconnect with one woman whose property was flooded out in Quebec. Rachel Huppé lives in Île-Bizarre, which is just west of Montreal, and we asked her to give us a tour of her house, which has been now damaged by the rising waters.
So the water came into the house, I believe last night. We just got into the house 20 minutes ago, and it's completely flooded. So here's a living room, parts of the living room, and kids' bedroom. We have all sort of things floating around. Easter egg hunter floating in the living room. And there's about, I don't know, 5 inches of water everywhere.
Rachel, this is heartbreaking. I wonder, Rachel, do you think you'll rebuild now?
No, at this point, we're not going back. This is the second time. The renovation weren't even finished of 2017, and it's much bigger than 2017. We had neighbors before, and their house went down because they had to lose their home because of the flood in 2017, and because the houses are not there anymore, what's happening is that there's more water going onto the land, because when there was houses there is sort of blocking the water in a way. And so now the damages are much bigger than 2017. If you take this house down, all my neighbors in front are gonna get much more water than they already have right now. So no, I think it's, I'm not thinking about rebuilding or renovations.